Okay, we are now going to have a little intermission between rounds while we create this lovely surface crochet. This little ring in the centre, which is made with blush, is it blush? Yes, blush yarn here. Obviously any colour you choose, but on the original colourway it's this blush yarn. And we're using a larger hook. We're using 4.5mm here. This is one that people have asked us about. Don't be too worried about it. It creates such a pretty effect. So if you can master this, and it is dead easy, you'll be fine with it. It is a lovely thing to add to your projects. So hopefully after this little video, you'll be confident to do that. Right, the placement of our surface crochet is actually around the stitches of the foundation round. So to remember those double crochet we put in right at the very beginning, that's where we're going to be putting these surface crochet, and it's a chain. It sort of makes that lovely chain stitch that you may have learnt in embroidery. So this is an easier way to do it, or an easy way to do it on crochet using a hook rather than a needle. So I find the easiest place to start is actually at the base of one of the puff stitches that we've worked on the last round. And all I'm going to do is take my 4.5mm hook. So there is a size change, just be aware of that. Push through from front to back and pick up a loop of the yarn. In this case, blush, whatever colour you want to use. Pull the end through a little bit. You don't need too much of an end. You only need that to sort of sew in. And I've now got a loop at the front of my work, and I'm going to pick up my yarn from behind and pull it through that loop to create the chain. So I'm finding my next stitch, and the good thing about this is ever so intuitive where the hook goes. You'll see the next hole sitting sort of right at the tip of the hook, so you shouldn't need to search too much for that. The hook's just going through from front to back, straight through, and I'm picking up the yarn and bringing through to the front of the work and through the loop that's already on the hook. So it's created a chain. Turn the work again. My next stitch is at the base of the next puff, so in the hook goes. You can see, picking the yarn up from the back, bringing it through and bringing it through the chain that's on the front, or the loop that's on the front. I can see my next place to put the hook, pick up from the back and pull through. So try not to pull them too tightly. Try and keep the stitches even if you can. Don't, try and keep the tension the same, and your stitch size will be the same, your chain size will be the same. So just pull through from the back to the front, and we work that all the way around. And the only thing that's the only thing that you may need some steer on is how to fasten this off, because you just need to do a little bit of mimicking of stitches, let's say. So into the next stitch, bring it through and through the loop at the front, into the next stitch, bring it through and to the loop at the front. Okay, when I'm at the point where if I put my hook into the next stitch, I've actually come to the beginning of the round, I want to stop there. If I go in and pull through, I can't fasten off in a neat way. So as soon as you're at the point where the hook, if it were to go in again, is going to go into a place where a stitch is already coming out, just stop, because now we're going to take over with our needle just to finish that off. And I'm going to cut the yarn. And now what I'm going to do is just really gently pull that yarn through. Using the hook, pull it through from the back to the front, and I'm finished with the hook for now. What I've now got is yarn that's coming through the last loop I've made, last chain I've made, and it's now sitting at the front of the work. I need to thread this onto my large eye darning needle. Okay. And what I'm now going to do is mimic this last stitch. So make this last stitch with the needle as if I had embroidered it all the way around. And what that means is I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to come under Can you see I'm putting my needle under both legs of that very first chain, pulling it through, not too tight because I want to keep this the same size as all the others I've made. And then I'll take my needle and go back in where the yarn has come out and pull through. And you will see when I pull that through, that's finished that circle off, and all of those little stitches, those little chains look identical. So all we need to do is turn the work over and sew that little end in, or secure it in. It's not going to take too much holding. Just a couple of, go through a couple of stitches one way and then the other. And the same for the beginning or the tail end of the yarn. Sew that in, and I tend to just kind of pick up a couple of strands or fibres really of the green yarn here and go through the stitches, sort of little tail attack, just a couple, and that's all you'll need to secure it. Okay, and there is your lovely decorative surface crochet.